Hey, what's up? Ryan Schroet, 200columns.com. First off, tune in tonight, 9:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Kevin Ducey and I for a brand new episode of Keeping It Orange and Blue podcast live stream on X and YouTube. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube already. But just waited about a day to discuss yesterday's 66-64 loss to Tennessee. A game that Illinois really, should have won. Had many opportunities. You foul out Lanier late. You're up three a few times. You turn the ball over in really silly situations and give them breakaway dunk. Have trouble inbounding the ball a couple of times. And then you, of course, don't call a timeout with 5 seconds left to set your defense and try to get maybe your best player on. You knew they were going to give the ball to Gainey because they didn't have anybody else out there really to handle the ball besides the freshman. So we'll start with Brad Underwood. For any of the fans out here that think he's just not the right coach for the job, you're just crazy. Okay? Look what the man's done to this program and brought back to the program. He's brought Illinois back to relevancy and to a team that's going to be competing always for second weekends now in the NCAA tournament and for Big Ten titles every year. And if you don't believe that, then just look at the last 4 seasons, okay? Hell, the last 5 seasons. So the COVID year, they finished top 4 in the Big Ten. But he's admitted he's made some big time mistakes this year. While I've been on Ben Hummerkaus's ass, not blaming him for yesterday, but I want everybody to know this. Ben Hummerkaus, 15 points and 7 rebounds in the last 95 minutes, 3 games, and he continues to play around 30 minutes a game. So that's something on Brad, too. You got to utilize Mraz Johnson more and find people that can produce. Will Riley's producing more than Ben Hummerkaus right now, even when he's not making field goals. Ben Hummerkaus is a liability, defensive rebounding, so can't make shots either right now. Brad Underwood, twice, I think, has really cost Illinois the game with not utilizing his bench more against Northwestern, and really bad clock management yesterday, and just silly inbounds plays. I think the inexperience and youth of this team is pretty evident, and the coach is it's up to the coaching staff to figure out how to put them in the best spots to win and to make it easier on them to figure out how to inbound the ball. And Brad Underwood twice has already admitted, he's been bad and he wasn't very good. And 2 of the 3 losses. Illinois very easily could be 9-1 right now, but they're not. They lost both really close games. The Wisconsin game was probably a 10-point game or so. And then, Wisconsin got some garbage buckets late. So that really wasn't a super close game at the end. But both late games, situations where, could have gone either way. Illinois lost both. And experience has really hurt the team. I think they don't really understand the gravity of, the moment of here's an example. Tomislava Visic. He's got to understand with 5 seconds left and a guy dribbling the full length of the court, you need to come over and crash and help Kasparis to Kusionis you just try to block that shot. There isn't enough time for him to pass the ball or lob it back to his teammate to try to make the basket. There's just not enough time for that. Well, you knew Gainey was going to try to score. And Avicic, instead of helping him to try to block the shot, goes back to try to defend. I think it was Phillips or whoever he was guarding. You just can't do that. It happened a couple times last night against Gainey on an and one. You just got to know time and score. And sometimes this team doesn't really have that. And then these European players, I think, are still trying to figure this out. It's on the coaches to get that done, though. So, and for anybody, complaining about KJ's turnovers, I'd say 5 of them were probably bad. One was a foul that didn't get called. And one of them was, him just trying to make a play. But I think 5 of them were really bad. And I think you're just going to come to terms with that's what's going to happen with KJ. He's dynamic. Nobody else was making 3-point shots yesterday. KJ will, and KJ does. He also sets up teammates who are missing 3-pointers. The man could probably have 10 assists a game if guys could make open shots. So I don't complain about what KJ is doing with the ball because somebody's got to. Somebody's got to make shots. Somebody's got to make plays. Tomislav Ivicic is struggling right now around the rim. He's not making shots, and that's hurting. But you have other guys that can do things. Trey White has stepped up, and I'm proud of him, and they're going to need him to do that. Will Riley has been, getting to the line and making his shots and free throws, and that's important. Boswell, I think, needs to start making some more open shots. But overall, Illinois had a chance to beat the number one team at home. It's a very talented, very skilled team. But the fact that you're playing, four guys that are still in their ninth game called collegiately right now. Ninth, yeah. 10th was their 10th, but still, Merez, you think about KJ, I think about Will Riley. These are 18-year-olds out there playing against fourth and fifth year guys, and they're having to make, big time plays and big time decisions. And, Jake Davis played 1 year at Mercer. I think he's 19, maybe 20. There's just a lot of youth on this team, and fans are going to have to expect that they might lose more of these close games than they win. But they're also going to have a lot of big moments this year and big wins that I think are going to help them down the stretch. While it was a frustrating loss yesterday, it's a team that Illinois is going to win some big games this year. But there's games like this that it's just going to hurt, that you're going to kind of scratch your head and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Probably it's going to cost them. They won't be a 1 or a 2 seed this year. I think them probably 3 to 5 somewhere in there, but I think they can peak at the right time, and at the end of the day, it's all about how you finish in March. So Brad Underwood is the right guy for the job. He does need to stop being so stubborn, and if you say common sense on calling a timeout, you just need to do it. So I understand why fans are upset, but overall, Illinois 7-3. Got to win bragging rights next week, though. That's going to be a big one net-wise, and to have bragging rights and beat an SEC team. See you tonight.